Audiobook and Hardship by Fictionify. Whispers of the Vanished. Secrets Between Shadows. The following morning, sunlight spilled through the blinds of Cole's apartment, illuminating the outlines of paper trails, cold coffee mugs, and exhaustion woven into every surface. He hadn't slept. Not really. Not after last night. She told him the truth. At least, he felt like it was the truth, and that shook him more than he cared to admit. Cole sat at the edge of his bed, elbows resting on his knees, her voice still echoing through his mind.
That's why I do it. For families who deserve the truth.
He couldn't look at her the same way anymore. She wasn't just a thief. She was a survivor, a product of justice denied. And somehow, that made this whole thing harder. He wasn't supposed to want to protect the suspect. He wasn't supposed to believe in her cause. He was supposed to bring her in. Yet here he was, struggling with the line between right and wrong, law and justice, black and white. And then there was her smile. God help him. The way she smiled when she was winning, and the way her eyes dimmed just a little when she spoke of her father. Cole couldn't remember the last time someone disarmed him so completely. Not with lies, with truths that carried weight. Truths that made her more dangerous than he realized. On the other side of the city, Elena Hart ran a meeting like she was born to lead. She stood at the head of the Hart Foundation's conference room table, dressed in ivory and gold, projecting power, warmth, and precision. Her voice was confident, her data airtight.
We'll allocate the remaining $750,000 to the Housing Uplift Initiative,
she said, pointing to the highlighted section of the screen.
Phase 1 brings water access and solar panels to all 6 buildings by the fall. We're changing lives.
The room nodded, clapped, congratulated. But the moment she stepped out of that space, her posture shifted. She handed her assistant her folder and walked briskly to the elevator. The second the doors closed, she allowed herself to breathe. Everything was becoming harder to balance. The Hart Foundation's growth was relentless, demanding her face, her time, her smile, but the heists were growing more dangerous too. Tighter security, more scrutiny, and now Cole. She wanted to believe that opening up to him was a smart move, strategic even. He was clever, driven. If she gave him breadcrumbs, maybe she could control the path he followed. But last night didn't feel strategic. It felt real. And real was dangerous. Later that evening, Elena met Cass on the rooftop of an abandoned warehouse in Soho. The air was crisp with coming rain, and below them, security teams loaded the woman with silver hair painting into a crate.
Window is tight,
Cass whispered, adjusting her headset.
30 minutes until departure. You have a 10-second blackout window after they do the scan and pack.
Elena nodded, pulling on her gloves. Her body was dressed in matte black tactical gear, a thin layer of armor beneath.
Anyone else sniffing around?
She asked. Cass hesitated.
What?
Cole pinged the art registry last night. He knows the painting's being moved. He may not know why, but he's circling.
Elena bit the inside of her cheek.
Do I abort?
You've done riskier.
But not with him on the ground.
Cass met her gaze.
You like him.
I respect him.
You also trust him a little. That's what scares me.
Elena didn't respond. She didn't need to. Her silence was answer enough. 15 minutes later, she was inside the transport facility. The blackout hit exactly as predicted. Just 10 seconds. But for Elena, it was an eternity. A flick of the wrist released the latch. A slide of the blade severed the inner crate seal. The painting, wrapped in delicate foam, was lifted with reverence. In its place, she left a forgery, aged precisely, just enough to fool cursory inspection. But then, her heart skipped. She heard it. Footsteps. Too quiet for the guards. Too familiar. She didn't turn.
Didn't expect to find you here.
Came Cole's voice, low, calm, behind her. Her pulse leapt in her throat. She stayed still.
And yet you did.
She replied, setting the foam lid back into the crate.
I told myself I'd stop you next time.
Then what's stopping you?
A long silence.
I wanted to understand you. Now I'm not sure I want to catch you.
Slowly, she turned. They stood just feet apart, the painting between them. Her eyes were clear. His were conflicted.
You know what this is.
She said.
You read the record. The family it belonged to. The way it was passed off as a donation by the man who stole it.
Cole exhaled.
I know.
Then why are you here?
Because I had to see it for myself.
And now that you have?
He stepped closer. His voice dropped.
Now I have to decide what kind of man I want to be.
They were inches apart. This time, neither of them moved away.
You know this won't end clean.
She whispered.
I know.
If you try to stop me, really stop me next time, I won't hold back.
I wouldn't want you to.
Her breath hitched, and for one suspended moment, they were no longer thief and detective, but two people standing on opposite sides of a fault line, hearts trembling with the knowledge that something was cracking beneath their feet.
I'm letting you walk away tonight.
He said, backing up.
Why?
Because this isn't the arrest I want.
Elena swallowed hard, turned, and disappeared into the shadows, vanishing like smoke just as the lights flickered back to life.